Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of all ages, good day to you guys. Welcome back to the channel on this glorious, sunshiny Florida type of day we've got going on here. Today, we're going to revisit this 2014, I think, Chevy Captiva. This is the one that it came in overheating, and we had diagnosed it as having a faulty / clogged catalytic converter assembly in the exhaust. And we ordered a converter, and we went to replace said converter, took the old unit out, and what we found is that somebody had already been there. What they did is they took the converter apart with a sawzall, went in there with a chisel and a hammer or whatever, and they removed all the core material, all the catalyst bed from inside of the converter, thinking that that was the restriction. That's what I thought it was too. So we took the thing apart and found out that there is no restriction in the converter because there is no converter. So I looked a little farther down in the line and I found that this vehicle had been involved in a rear end collision at some point. When it was in the collision, the car that hit it ran into the rear muffler and jammed it forward into its pipe, which is connected to the converter assembly. Now where that muffler is, there's like an S-shaped kind of bend. And what happens when it hit, those pipes collapsed. And we had a kink here and a kink here pinching off the exhaust pipe, so we could not have any exhaust flow out of the muffler, and that's caused the engine to overheat. Now, just to thicken up the plot, the new converter that I had purchased last week was a used part. Somebody had ordered one, put a new one on, found out they didn't fix the problem, took it back off, put it back in the box after they damaged it, and then sent it back to the store. So my car parts store had to eat the cost of a very expensive emissions piece of equipment, and I was delayed because I had no parts. So this thing was back out in the shop. So we have no exhaust on this car right now. It's going to be a little loud. We're going to fire this thing up and get it out from this hole that it's in behind this F-150. That thing doesn't run. The BCM's dead on it. I have no idea how Dave managed to get this thing parked in here. Parallel parking master, but we're going to unparallel park it and bring it back in and get some parts on it. Then I'm going to have to engineer some kind of fabricable conglomeration of fabricating, because we need to get that kink in the pipe worked out, and I cannot source a replacement muffler. All the junkyards in town, they have bad mufflers, and a replacement muffler is unavailable because it's the pipe section from the converter back. There's actually two mufflers and two sets of pipes in it. So let's fire this loud unit up and get it up into the shop over yonder. Beginning engine starting sequence now. All right. We don't have much time. Let's see if I can get this thing out of here. There's that fence back there. Yeah, we're gonna be all right. I'm gonna get it. That's how Dave got it in here. He's a good parallel parker. You're gonna clear that corner? Yep, feels good to me. Look at there, another Pentastar that needs a set of lifters and rockers. If you own a 3.6 Pentastar in one of these vans, you're gonna need to do lifters and rockers. Email me, I'll do it for you. All right, let's get up on the ramp here. Race Captiva. Alright, let's mosey on around to the front section here and get under the bonnet. It's a weird little split looking hood thing. Where's the little dealio in there? Ow! There, it's way back there. Got it. Whoa, hood struts are junk too. Those are hood struts, and they are junk. They're supposed to hold the hood up. Okay, problem solved with a brake pedal depressor. How about that? So what we need to do here, we're gonna get this airbox business out of the way one more time. We had to put that on for the mass airflow sensor so we could move the vehicle out of the stall. So let's see, exhaust goes back here, O2 sensors plug in here, PCV, this is all here. We are working on the bottom side, so let's run this lift up in the air and subscribe button. Moving on up. down on the locks for safety. Good to go. Okay, so before we get started with the fabricableness of putting this converter on, I gotta go change gears and torque down this cylinder head over here. Troy is putting it together, and the torque sequence requires 240 degrees of angle. We set it up at 22 foot-pounds. Is that right, Troy? 22 pounds?
Yes, sir.
We do 22 foot-pounds. We already did number one right here. 22 and then 240 degrees. Mr. Troy did not like the concept of torque angle torquing, so we're gonna do that together. We're gonna do this 240 degrees single pass with the big gear wrench torque wrench. The standard rule around here is you guys aren't allowed to break things. Only I'm allowed to break things. So if we're gonna break off cylinder head bolts in this block, I'm gonna do it, not Troy, right?
Yeah.
Right, buddy? All right, so let's go ahead. Let me see your little torque wrench real quick. Give me your little one. This did not feel like it was at 22 pounds. I saw it turn as soon as I touched it. Let's just double check here. That one. Are you sure you got all these at
Yeah.
22? Okay.
Yeah, unless it.
When I torqued that one down, it pulled the head down some, which pulled up some of the tension on these other bolts here.
Yeah.
That's why they felt loose. That's why.
Okay.
Yep. Because there is flex and things. Anyway, torque wrench is reset. We're doing our angle, 240 degrees. Spin it round and round, and that's far.
Yeah, this is the part that scared me.
That's okay. 235, 36, 7, 8, 9, 40. I'm gonna go 245 just so I feel better. There we go. All right, what's your next one?
It's gonna be the one to the left of it.
The one to the left. This one right here?
Yes, that's you.
That's number 3, all right. And reset. There we go. Yeah, don't be scared. It's just metal. 236, 40, 43. We'll go with that. Next one.
Right above it.
This is easy. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. It's only 240 degrees of bolt twisting. Can't be that bad, right?
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Number 5 right here.
Number 5 is this one right here. Very good. Teamwork and streamwork. I may need you to move that. You're gonna have to move this thing. There it is. The hood prop. That's gotta go. Just move it over. No, that's not in the hole. Take the bottom out. No, take the bottom out. Shorten it. There you go. Now you got it. You got it. Look, it's in there now. All right, focus. We got to focus. 240. 240. You got to focus. I think I built this up to be harder than what it was, and then it made you intimidated.
A little bit. That's all right.
I am a doom and gloom kind of guy. This business will do that to you. Murphy's Law.
Oh man.
And I have broken off cylinder head bolts in a block before, torquing them. This is why it's very, 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 very important to get all the oil out of your spark plug holes.
The bolt holes.
Or, yeah. Cylinder head bolt holes. I don't know why I said spark plug holes. Oh my God.
That's your 3rd time calling them that.
I have been doing that all day. My brain is fried, man. Too much stuff to do. I do too much, and my brain never ever stops. It's gonna drive me insane. 240, coming round and round and round and round and round. 222, 32, 42. All right. Next one, sir.
Right above it.
Give me back my socket. I do not find that acceptable. Give me back my socket. No. I'd like my socket back. Thank you. Right above it?
Yes, sir.
That one's gonna get stuck too. No, sir, we cannot use this tool. The space right here is larger than the OD of the tool. We need the longer one of these, the long 10 millimeter.
Okay.
Got the long one? Let's
Yeah.
get the long one. We have the long one. Some slight adaptations here. We're gonna get it. Here we go. Mm, 220. Light's dying.
Battery.
240. There we go. Next one.
Number 9, top one over here. Got a battery?
Not yet. Nope, not right now. We're torquing.
Yeah, it's one.
I need you to move that. There you go. Yeah. 230. It's 240 right there.
Alright.
Is this the last one?
Yes, sir.
Alright, I need, that's gotta move. Yeah, just hold it up. Yeah, we don't want to stop and walk away and do anything while we're doing this.
That's right.
It's just way too critical to stop over a flashlight battery. Alright, torque achieved, it's done. We got it. The head is now attached. So let's go back to our Captiva. Here, real quick refresher, here's the bend in the pipe. So I'm gonna make an attempt to find some 90-degree pieces and probably cut this out and maybe weld it back together. I don't know what else I could possibly do here, but I can't replace this whole component because I can get a muffler, but the muffler comes with just this much of this piece on it. So that's not gonna cut it for me. And I can't get the whole pipe because all the junkyards were setting these cars down on the stands using the muffler. So we're stacking cars on top of mufflers in the junkyard. Yeah. Going up front, move this out of the way. Exhaust hole, and then the cat converter assembly sits right in this area here. Let's unbox the new one. This is the second new one. First new one came back used. Yeah, there we go. Oh, much more better. And look, it's got core material inside of it. Weird. No core material. Core material. Okay, we've got 2 gaskets. One goes back here on the output flange. There we go. The second one, these are one-time use only crush gaskets. People try to reuse them and then it leaks and then they fill this flange up full of RTV because they didn't know to replace that gasket. It just sits right inside of there. Now, that one's probably gonna fall out. See that? Not much holding on to it. So, we're gonna throw some grease on it. That's some assembly goo. We'll throw some grease on it just to keep it sticky so it stays put. Now, it's gonna be things like this that are the reason why we have to test drive cars after a repair. Because this grease is going to burn off. And what we don't want is to give this back to the customer without a test drive, and then this grease burns off and then it starts to smoke, and then they immediately come back and say, hey, my car's smoking, what's the problem? It's just some assembly goo. Wipe off the extra, there we go. Plus, the new exhaust components are going to smoke because they have a light coating of oil on them to prevent rust, and when this thing gets hot, it will it'll burn off all that oil. There we go. Put some thread lube on there too. That's the old downstream O2 sensor. See, there's two O2 sensors in a cat converter system. There's the upstream, and then there's the downstream. The upstream is what the ECM uses to determine fuel control patterns. The downstream is used to monitor the condition of the catalytic converter. So if the downstream is saying, hey, I have a problem here, it's because it's not seeing the catalyst event or the different carbon and oxygen levels in the exhaust, and then it'll trigger the ECM to alert the driver via check engine light saying that your emissions equipment is not performing as desired. But if you remove it, it cannot perform as desired. So don't remove it. Okay, so we're going to take this guy right here. We've got the flange with 3 studs. That's going to meet up with the exhaust manifold up top, and we've got the nuts in hand to secure the unit. There we go. So I'm just going to throw these 3 nuts in. I'm not going to tighten them down just yet because we need to get the rear section of the pipe installed. That's 2 nuts. Third one, I want the pipe to be able to move around so I can line up the studs in the rear. Plus, it's probably easier to tighten these from the top side, so we'll do it from the top. Well, actually, looking back, that's going to be real easy to install. You just slide the bolts in. Okay, never mind. So instead, here, we'll put this hanger on. You see that hanger? Not from over there you can't. Let's push that guy on. That's the rubber isolator. That's the exhaust can move around without banging into stuff, and it prevents us from having to hard mount the exhaust to the bottom of the chassis. Okay, everything's lined up, looking good. Let's put our nuts on it. Both of them. There we go. Don't do that. Why are we doing that? That one went on. What's his problem with this other one? I don't like the look of you. That nut's not gonna go back on. Yeah, looks like that nut's got some not great threads inside of it. Probably a bunch of rust, junk. So we need a new one to the cabinet. Let's see, I choose this one. Yep, that'll do. Let's get this guy bolted on real quick like here. Much better. Click. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so now I'm gonna go down to the parts store and try to find some exhaust pieces. So let's get a measurement out of this real quick, like highly sophisticated measuring device. Looks like we are at just over 2 inches, 2 1/8 outside diameter. Let's take one more measurement. Yep, 2 1/8. Roundabout. There's the 2. We're just a tick past 0.0 I'm sorry, 0.125. Yeah, it's 2 1/8. Okay, let's go to the parts store next. Field trip to the miniature van we go. Let's go to O'Reilly's. Starting the engine. I have not been driving this van in months. And I parked it with a full tank of gas. Look at that. Yeah, I had a full tank of gas. I parked it for months until the tires went flat. And then it was looking really sorry, so I decided I would drive it. The worst thing you can do to your automobile, or any equipment for that matter, other than failing to change your oil, is to not operate the equipment. Letting these things sit around absolutely destroys them. It makes the paint get weird and dry, at least in Florida. Like, if you park a car too long in Florida, the paint will start to flake off the roof. Now, when you're driving them around, they don't seem to do that. Probably because they're not getting sun-baked at the same scorching temperature all the time. They get some kind of shade and they cool off from the wind, I think. But yeah, you let them sit around, it bakes the paint, ruins all the seals. It dries out your weather seals so water can come in. I didn't put my seatbelt on, I'm a bad kid. The gas goes bad, the tires go flat, the battery sulfate. Yeah, you definitely do not want to let them sit around for extended periods of time. It's not good. Oh yeah, quick moment. I guess I can give you guys like a finalized follow-up on that dealership situation where it was the Jeep instrument cluster. Remember I sent one to the dealer to have the cluster replaced? And it came back and the car still had the problem. And I took the instrument cluster out that I paid $1,300 something for. And the one that I took out was either my original one that had been damaged and broken, or it was a different one. Regardless, I did not pay for a new one. And folks had been asking in subsequent video comments on what was the resolution to that. I filed complaints with the dealership, talked to a bunch of managers. They told me to go away. I called Stellantis and tried to open a case with them, and they didn't want anything to do with it. So they never called me back, so I don't know. So there is no resolution. So I went ahead and called up the bank, and I reported a chargeback against it. Basically, I filed a claim with the bank saying that the services that I paid for and were not received or rendered, and the bank has credited back to me the $1,300 that I paid the dealership. Now I can't really tell you guys which dealership it is because I don't want to get sued or anything, but they're not going to get the money out of it. The bank's going to charge it back, which would then charge their account back. So I've already been credited. So as far as I'm concerned, all that really happened here was a whole lot of bad customer service, and you know, it's on them. Whatever they want to do in the future, if they have a problem with it, they can call me back. I can't do anything else. My hands are tied. I tried to be nice about it, but I even when I requested the refund, I only requested a partial. I said, give me back the money for the part because you didn't give me a part, and you guys can keep the labor. And the managers even still said no. So they left me no choice but to file the chargeback, which is what I did. And now they are out of the money. So I'm not gonna bash them publicly. I'm not going to run around and name them and try to get anybody in trouble. And I'm not going to out them on the internet. It's just bad taste. So I'm not gonna do that. Now I realize that some folks did want me to make a huge stink of it and out them on the internet. I don't want to get sued, and I'm not gonna say who it was. You know, that they made their own bed, and unfortunately for this particular Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram dealership here in local Bradenton, Florida, unfortunately for them, I won't be giving them any more of my business, but it is what it is, so we can move on. Anyway, let's go to O'Reilly's and get our part. All right, let's see if we've got some exhaust components here at the O'Reilly's Auto Parts facility. Usually they deliver parts to me, but I gotta size this up. Parking the auto. Looks like these are all we get. I can take 2 of them, make the S shape, cut them down, weld them together. It's gonna be ugly, but it's gonna work. Well, they left the back door open, so I got a 5-finger discount. Let's go back to the shop and get this thing put back together. Yeah, it's really unfortunate how that one dealership wouldn't let me buy parts from them anymore after that little fiasco. So now when I want parts from my Dodge dealership, I gotta call my parts store and then they got to go over there and buy the parts and then bring them over to me. So even though I was invited to not buy parts there, I still get parts there anyway, because I'm a bad technician. You know, it's not that I want to continue to use that particular dealership's parts, it's just that they're the closest one, and when I need OEM Mopar or Jeep, Chrysler, whatever kind of parts, I gotta get it from the closest people, those. And unfortunately, the closest people don't want to do business with me anymore, but I'm still gonna get their parts. Solutions. I'm just kidding, I didn't rip them off, but I did go out through that side door. I was in the back at the commercial area. I'm allowed to use that door. All right, let's go. Back to Captiva land. There we go. Parking the auto. Pew. Powering down. All right. Oh good, the button works on the door. It was not doing that this morning. I had to pry the door open some to get it started. Things that happen when you sit around. Now, why did I get 4 pipes when I only really need 2 pipes? Well, because 2 of these are 2-inch diameter, 2 of these are 2 1/4. I bought both because whichever one is going to fit the best, that's what we're going to use. Look at that. The AC was in the car. It's so humid out that when I got out, my glasses fogged up. It's crazy. I can see clearly now because the rain is gone. Troy, do you have the Sawzall? There it is. Thank you. Okie doke. So, 2 of these fit together. We have our S shape. We got a 45 and a 45, right? Which is what we need. That's the correct shape. But our dimensions are way off. This is much longer and lower than it has to be. So we have to cut that up and make it fit. Now, since this has been smashed in and that S shape has been collapsed a little bit, that means that this muffler is pulled backwards some. And we can confirm that by looking at the hangers. See how this hanger is going forward and not down? And same thing, this one's kind of going forward some too, but it's sort of tweaked like this way a little bit. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and sawzall this bent pipe off right here, right now. I think I'm gonna cut this hanger bracket right here off first. We're gonna chop that guy right off because this pipe is going to extend past that bracket area, so I'm gonna have to weld this pipe onto this pipe and then weld this guy back to the new pipe or whatever. So let me just make sure that's all right where it needs to be. That's good, that's good. This is fine. I think we can go ahead and make the cut now. I think we're good. Loud saw noises. That's the hanger part. So now I'm gonna go ahead and cut this like right about here or so. I can trim it down more later, but I'm gonna cut it long. When I cut that, this muffler is gonna fly forward, or it should. We'll see. Got it. Okay, so now our hanger's down where it's supposed to be. Tailpipe's over here now. That's where it's supposed to be. We're getting somewhere. And just checking for restrictions. You got anything in there? Nope. Nothing. I need to get all these burrs off of this so we can try to slide the pipe over it. So we're gonna hit it with a little carbide bit right here. More loud noises. Gravity. That'll do. Okay, so I have a pole jack with some plywood spacers under it that's holding the muffler in its normal position. You see the hanger is correct right here. It's much more correct over here, and the tailpipe location, yeah, how about right there? So that's where we want this to sit. So what I need to do now is cut this off here and then figure out how to fit the new pipes. So one more time with the saw, let's get chopping. Hope I get through it. This blade right here has seen better days. It's all bent up and nasty. Loud noises. Ding, exhaust is done. Okay, so if this is gonna work, this pipe needs to be shortened to about yay short, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop this piece of collar off right about here. Chop it off right there. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make you guys watch every Sawzall event. We can skip over a few of them. I think we've seen enough Sawzall. So here's what I came up with so far. I cut off the straight pieces and I left just the flex piece. Idea being I want to get this guy to go up there and fit in that hole. If I can fit it in the hole, that helps me out tremendously, but if we look, that hole's kind of bent up. See that? So it's bent here from the impact. I think I am going to take this muffler down and hit this with like an impact gun and try to bend that out around this back out. Yeah, we need to take the muffler down. Hey Troy! Never mind. I got it. There's a tool for this. Now, this may or may not be effective, and I may have to actually bend the pipe, but we're gonna try to make this more rounder. So we've got a anvil here on the end of the air cat. That should do it. See what happens. Just a little closer. What? A little closer. It's a little closer. That'll do. That's what I needed right there. See, now with that thing inside of the hole, I can throw a bunch of weld on that and close up the gap. See that? Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay. So with that loud annoying compressor turned off, it is time to put this muffler back where it goes. All right, get on there. Finish that later. It's on halfway. Okay, now that back. Put the jack stand back on the wood. Run it back up. Need to go the other way. That's pretty good. There we go. Hey, we're kind of almost getting somewhere. Almost. So I planned on welding this piece. I'm gonna have to butt these together because I don't have a piece that slips over. So these are gonna have to be butt welded, which is the ugliest welds I can do. Yes, there are tailpipe expanders, and no, they don't work. They're not good. Those ones you buy on Amazon where it's got the little center screw and the little finger things that all expand. Those don't work. I do have a set, and oh look, that works. And every set that I own is broken, so from use. So therefore, I will not attempting to reuse them. So after realizing that cutting this off and then trying to butt the piece up to it and get it 90 degrees to weld it is not gonna work. So I figured I have to get this pipe inside of this pipe. So what I did is I took my little Ziz wheel sander and I polished the daylights out of the end of this after cutting off the collar part. And I think that's enough to get it to go in there. Maybe if I get it lined up just right here, I can slide that thing in that hole. I know it's gonna go in there. It's just so almost perfect enough. Yep, it's going in, look. Okay, that actually might work. So let's get this lined up and I'll just hammer that in the rest of the way. I figure if I have her turned around, oh, it doesn't want to go now. Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. That almost hurt. I almost pinched my finger. I did pinch it. That could have been bad. This needs to be higher up like that so I can mount the hanger. The hanger is going to be kind of ugly. About like so. So I need a way to hold this pipe up. I think what I'll do, we'll use the trolley jack. Yeah, we'll just jack this jack up. This should do it. Take some air, plug it in. It's not gonna work. That'll do. Okay, that's kind of straightish. It's a little off this direction. This hanger is not the greatest right there. I want it down, but I can't get this any farther down. So with this thing in position where it's supposed to be, if I smooth that over, if I jack this up slightly so that this is level, then I weld it, then let it down, this will hang perpendicular to the rubber and hold some of the weight of the exhaust. That's gonna have to just serve to locate that left and right, and then we've got some weight being held up here. So it's not perfect, it's not ideal, but we're not gonna get any closer given what I've got to work with here. So this is gonna get tacked on. We're gonna go for this right here. I'm satisfied-ish enough with this. Maybe a little bit more that way if I could get it. Yeah, that's about as good as I think it's gonna get. So let's get welding. Okay, so first I'm gonna tack this pipe on to the muffler, and then I'm probably gonna tack this pipe on to the regular tailpipe over there to hold those in position. Then I'm gonna take the muffler off, weld this pipe on, because this is gonna be the hardest weld here. And then this other pipe, I can weld that no problem from where we're at. And this one right here, I can also weld that no problem. So we're gonna tack it, separate it, weld it, tack it, weld it, weld it. That's what we're gonna do. Beginning welding now. Let's get a couple little tacks on there and hold this thing in position. Bear with me. Need more heat. Not enough current. Need more electron flow. That'll do. Okay, do a couple little beads over here on the back side just to hold that pipe in position. Okay, muffler back on the bench. See, we got that kind of tacked in, sort of nice like. Now I need to just go around and seal this into this thing up, weld all that together. And hopefully it doesn't flex a bunch and deform in the heat, because my measurements are precise, finely tuned for perfection. So let's fill this hole up here. And voila, I have a weld. So I'm gonna let this cool off. In the meantime, I'm gonna go over there and weld that other pipe on. I'm not gonna record that. When I get that thing welded on all the way, we'll get the muffler reset back in position. All right, coming back in. One muffler in hand. Hot pipes all around. I don't want to touch them and hurt myself. Burns would be bad, okay? The muffler on my face. There we go. Pole jack. There we go. Nice. Yeah, it's not as bad as it looks because this pipe has moved over like a bunch. Make sure those aren't too hot to touch, and they are. Yeah, it's a little warm. Gloves. I have insulation. Look at that. That's gorgeous. That's its new home right there. Okay, since this seems to be fitting in nicely where I want it, the little connection I made, I'm gonna weld this bracket on, like right now.
I'm sorry, are you saying meow?
Right there. I'm gonna weld it, and then I'll probably have to put like some washers or a bolt in there for some rigidity, because the rest of this piece of metal wrapped around the old pipe and I cut it off. So I'll need to do something to increase the strength of this bond right here. Otherwise, the thin walls of the pipe will just break and then this hanger will break off. But for now, let's just kind of throw a bead on it and weld it to it, and then we'll add support structure later. Ow! Okay. Yeah, we're on. fill this gap with some weld right here. Burn a hole in it? No, that pipe's hollow. There's welding inside of this hollow tube right here. Burnt a hole through it that time though. The hole's right there. I'll fill it, no worries. That's penetrative structure is what that is. That's structure, so it's a stronger bond for later. Whew, okay. That's in position. Flip the jack down, see how it carries the weight. The other down. Beautiful. So next, one last weld. Let's seal up the pipe right here. I've already got the ground connected to the back of the muffler, so I just need to go in and do the deed. Mint. Totally mint. I love it. It's good. Okay, moment of truth. I got it back on the ground. I threw the intake box back on it so we can start it, and I bolted on the 3 bolts on the flange. Now there's still some bracketry and some O2 sensors to connect, but let's go ahead and fire it up and do a leak check before we finish up with this particular Vajeo. Stocking's the engine. Hey, sounds a lot more quieter, don't you think? Okay, now let's check it for actual emissions at the pipe, because that was the problem. I feel exhaust. You guys hear exhaust. And you can even see it because it's steaming up the camera. Alright, so let's do the banging into things check. It's not doing any banging. Let's go back up and do a leak check on it real quick like. Move back up one more time. Okay. Back up in the air. We got a smoker. It's not great. Sludged up oil burner smoker is what this is. But what we don't have are any exhaust leaks at my fantastic welds. Very nice. Let's go up front. Got some smoke burning off. That all looks good. No leaks anywhere. O2 sensor needs connected. All right, I'm good with this. I'd say we got ourselves a victory here, folks. Definitely a victory. The impossible has been achieved. I realize it's not pretty. It's not body shop work. I don't even know what kind of work it is, but I got the job done at a reasonable price point, and we didn't break the bank and have to buy the entire exhaust assembly from GM. I don't even know if it's available. I couldn't find one anywhere, so I got it fixed. I think we're good to go. So that being said, guys, I have nothing more to offer you on this particular vehicular module or this particular video, other than a thank you, as always, for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this repair in the comment section down below. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video in a Chevrolet exhaust job. in a transmission.